And the Academy Award goes to me. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I'm here to review episode 9 of The Real Housewives Who Are Not Getting an Apology of Beverly Hills. And we start off right away from Sutton's complete chaotic energy of last week. I mean, she's storming off, she's doing everything, she's hiding food in her dress. It was just plain ridiculous, right? And she's just crying and sobbing and just, for no reason, she's just boo-hooing. And this is what kills me. All of the other women go up and coddle her like, are you okay? Are you fine? Oh my God, let's hug you. Oh my God, do you need something? Do you need a cupcake? Here's my shoulder to cry on. Go ahead, just ruin my dress. It's fine. I'm just like, what? Like, what are y'all doing? And this is exactly what's wrong with society. The minute that any white woman cries and throws a whole tantrum like this, like the way Sutton's doing, everybody's just like, oh my God, we need to go protect her. Let's turn into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, transform and protect white women now. And it's just sick. It's completely terrible to watch that go down. And Crystal's just over there on the couch by herself like, okay, so can I get another drink? And then she starts walking up and she's like, what should I do? And Garcelle comes out. And Garcelle is such a disappointment this episode. I mean, we kind of saw a glimpse in here and there of it last episode and the episode before that, but Garcelle, I was rooting for you, girl. I was rooting for you. What were you doing? Like, she sits down with Crystal and Crystal's like, what should I do? I mean, I didn't do anything. Garcelle replies with, I mean, I think your word of being violated is way too much. I think that word is way too strong to use in this predicament. And I'm like, what? Like, Garcelle, you cannot be serious. What if the entire cast turned on you when you had that one-on-one sit down with Kyle about, oh, I didn't really like the way you asked me that question at the reunion, you know, about paying the whole charity thing that you addressed Kyle with at the beginning of this season? What if all the women turned on you and was like, I think that you're exaggerating what you're saying. I think you're twisting the words to fit your own narrative, Garcelle. What if they did that to you? Would it be okay then? I mean, you're doing the same thing to Crystal here, and it's insane to me how you take up for Sutton so much just because you're falling for her white tears as well. I thought that Garcelle had more common sense, but obviously not. And then eventually Sutton comes back and all the women recruit, right? They're all sitting down at the little patio again. And Sutton's like, I am so sorry, Crystal. I am so sorry for what I said. Let me go sit my ass down here and have a hot toddy. And, you know, I just think that your presence really... And then you saw her eyeballs just going all over the place. I mean, this bitch looked like she was transforming into the Bride of Chucky for a second. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's just your presence really bothered me. And I'm just like, oh, Crystal, it was just too nice for me, because if I was Crystal, I would have grabbed that fan that, you know, shoots the fly away from the food and just stuffed it in her fucking mouth. I'm like, oh, Sutton, you just... Oh, she just needed a good hot toddy to the face. That's all she needed. And Crystal is not backing down, and I love it. I thought for a second, I'm like, please don't give in to her. Please do not give in to these women peer pressuring you to apologize for what you said. Then she tells Sutton, you're an awkward ass bitch. You don't know how to dress. If you don't like it, then leave. Stop with the crying because you're not getting an apology. And Sutton is just, whoo. Did y'all see her stares? She was just like, she clearly could not take the heat in the kitchen. I mean, Crystal was bringing it to her. And what kills me is that Erika is like, I think that, you know, what really bothered her is that you called her manic and, you know, her dad just, you know, he was kind of manic too. And then we have Dora also. Oh, I think that attacking anybody's fashion is the worst thing you can do. And they're all babying this 80-year-old woman like, oh, it's okay, son, come over here. And Erika, you should be ashamed too. Like, you're 2 episodes away from going to jail and you're just over here coddling her like a big baby. Like, what? People should be coddling you for your performance this whole episode. And Crystal tries to apologize for that word specifically, and here comes Lisa. Lisa is the biggest hypocrite. Like, she's like, no, just say I'm sorry and that's that. We need to be accountable for our actions and we need to say I'm sorry and apologize for things that we have done. Bitch, no, what we're not gonna do here is do all of that. Lisa thinks she's like Mother Teresa now. She thinks she has a halo on her head. Where was this energy the entire last season with Denise? You were constantly on her ass about doing this, about doing that, but now all of a sudden you're like, let's all hold hands and let's listen to the Bible. No, what we're not gonna do is pretend to be all holier than thou now all of a sudden just because your friend is being attacked. And Garcelle says, oh, y'all should put on your big girl panties. And here comes Kathy, the one with the high-waisted ones. I mean, we all know that's what Sutton's probably wearing underneath that dress. And they left it at that with Lisa saying, oh, stay true to yourself. Girl, goodbye. We all know as soon as they wrapped up filming for this entire scene that Sutton went home and she wrote in her diary that Crystal was this, that, and the third. The next couple of scenes had me all types of confused because they kept saying, oh, 4 days later, 2 days ago, 2 seconds later, 3 minutes ago. Like, make up your mind. Like, where are we in this timeline? Let's keep it together. We find out that Kyle, Kathy, and Dorit have missed 19, and that was so sad. I mean, first of all, it was sad that they were recording this on a flip phone, or I don't know what this was, because I'm like, why is it so blurry? I mean, I was trying to like blow on my screen or something. I thought it was me, but I'm like, okay, all that money and we can't see anything. But anyways, so yeah, that was pretty sad. I mean, I can only imagine what they feel and how they were feeling for a second. I'm thinking, wait a minute, is this whole episode gonna be on Zoom and flip phones, or are we gonna have actual in-person scenes? And then we finally get to the meat and potatoes of the season, and it finally breaks out that Tom and Erika were embezzling money from plane crash survivors. And then we get the first acting scene between Erika, Lisa, and Kyle, and they're on Zoom Skyping each other or whatever. Erika is just going on with this sob story saying, I had no idea. I really didn't. I mean, I was just a victim in all of this. Then in the confessional, the producer asks her a question, and Erika's like, I can't answer that. It's like you can't answer it or you're afraid to get caught up in your lies. I mean, Erika, whew, like, she was just painting out this extreme story of, oh my God, yes, I didn't know I was a victim too. I mean, I was probably in one of those plane crash survivors plane as well. I was right next to them as well. How could I have been involved? You know, I was just married to him, and I'm just like, girl, please cut it out. Stop it. Like, she is not fooling me. And it's like, the crazy part is that she's really willing to go along with this story. And Kyle and Lisa, they're both full of shit too, especially Lisa. Lisa's like, oh, we know the type of person you are. You would never do that. You're not gonna get jail time. Don't worry. Like, we know your character. How come you didn't know Denise's character? I thought y'all were friends or something. I mean, what happened there? And it's like, Lisa, you also cut it out, because you also pick and choose when you want to be on somebody's side or when you want to be against them. Because if this was Denise and she was going through this, I promise you, Lisa will be the first one right there with her magnifying glass like, so did you do it, Denise? Because I just want to know the truth. I am 100% real. So what is it? Then eventually Lisa and Crystal go meet up at Erika's house, or as she likes to call it, a shithole. And Erika's there and she just loves trying to downplay this beautiful house of hers. She's like, oh, welcome. My door has spider webs and there's dirt all over the floor. Lives in the Tom and Jerry house with the little hole in it. She probably lives with the mouse. I'm like, please stop exaggerating. I'm like, your house is nice. Like, it doesn't take a bunch of eyeballs to see that, Erika. Then we head over to Kyle's house, which Garcelle is showing up there with a gift. And I completely forgot that they had like a small issue at the beginning of the season. And I'm thinking, Garcelle, you can bring gifts and be nice to Kyle, but you can't understand Crystal because you're too busy like kissing Sutton's ass. But okay. Kyle is foreshadowing this girls trip that we're gonna have soon. And I'm wondering, ooh, how is this gonna play out? And she says she's gonna round out all the girls so they can all come. And then we head over to Erika's house for Act 2. And Erika is just, she's like, I went to go see my therapist as she's pouring some expensive champagne into a glass. Like, bitch, what? Like, okay. And she's just like, I had no idea. I mean, I really didn't. Every time I asked a question, it's just like he would shut me down. Oh, I cannot stand that annoying ass voice that Erika does, that low pitched voice that she does to feel sympathy. That, yeah, I mean, it was just an issue between us and he never confided in me and told me nothing. Like, please stop talking like that. Like, oh, I cannot stand when people try to play this sympathy thing and like want people to feel sorry for them and they play up this whole act. And especially those annoying ass head nods that she does. Every scene that Erika's in that she's talking about this divorce, all I hear is, waking up in the morning, thinking about so many things. I just want things to get better. Like, that's literally all I hear every time Erika opens her mouth. I'm like, girl, give it a rest. Don't you get tired of bullshitting this entire show? It's called The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, not The Real Housewives of Bullshitting Hills. Like, get it together. Garcelle's telling Kyle it's always something with Erika. What's going on? I mean, I don't really think that this is really what Erika is. I feel like she had no idea. And part of me wants to believe that Garcelle, deep down inside, like, she actually believes that Erika did have something to play on it, but she just doesn't want to say anything. Erika goes on to tell Lisa and Crystal, like, yeah, I just wasn't checking the accounts. Like, whoo, red flag number one, like Crystal said. I mean, first of all, y'all, don't let anybody control you in any type of relationship or, you know, be very secretive like that, because like Crystal said, those are red flags, and it just shows that there's no trust or communication. And I'm pretty sure that Erika knew this long time ago, but she was so comfortable with the money and her lifestyle that she was like, you know, it's expensive to be me, but it's expensive to have those lawyers. And now it's coming to bite her in the ass, and she wants to play dumb as if she had no hand in what was going on. I mean, Tom seemed like a jerk. He did seem like a, you know, a big jerk with telling her to shut up and stuff. But I'm pretty sure that Erika is just not that dumb to just go along with everything. I mean, she probably is, but she's not that dumb to be completely oblivious of what Tom was secretly doing. And then we had this scene with Lisa and her daughter Delilah and her boyfriend that was drawn out way too long for my liking. I'm thinking, okay, Lisa. Well, first of all, Lisa gives me pimp vibes. I mean, she really does. I feel like she was the one who sent that DM from Delilah's Instagram for some reason. And I know that she was probably wanting to call Amelia and hoping that Amelia was with Scott for a storyline. I mean, it seems that once again, her daughters are her storyline, and Lisa has nothing else this time around, especially now that Denise is gone. And Lisa's just being creepy with, oh yeah, her boyfriend's body. I mean, oh, it just gets my lips moist. And then she brings out a bunch of dresses and puts them on the floor. I'm like, if they're so expensive, why are you putting them on the floor? There's probably dirt and dust all over, and you're just getting it all dirty. And yeah, this whole scene could have been cut. I mean, we could have spliced it in half to show at least Dorit, because Dorit was nowhere to be found. At this point, Dorit needs to be replaced with either Kathy or a new housewife, because Dorit has nothing else to bring. I mean, she was probably in the closet waiting with her Louis Vuitton hat and Louis Vuitton everything else, just like, okay, I'm ready to film. I'm ready to, you know, look like a Barbie. I'm ready to promote this brand. And they probably just never got to her. They're like, yeah, we're going to leave you away from this episode because you have really nothing else to offer. And your outfit, tragic. Then we get Kyle coming over to Kathy's house, and I'm not sure what power trip Kathy was on to make those creepy ass Christmas ornaments with the dolls, but she's like, you know, they just come to me randomly into my mind. I'm like, yeah, when you're on that stuff. No, Kathy, those things are creepy. I mean, I like your creativity and A for effort, but yeah, if I was Santa Claus, I would skip right over to your house and just be like, yeah, I'm not going to visit that one. I'm going to the next one. And Kyle starts showing us a little bit of her Halloween Kills acting skills, and she's telling Kathy that she feels like a terrible mom. And I just feel like she was way too hard on herself. I mean, we were in the middle of a pandemic and there was nothing to do. At least you have a big ass house that your daughter can at least like walk all over the place and, you know, get some exercise or do something, you know, with her time. And I don't know, I just feel like she was being way too hard on herself and saying that she's a terrible mom. Her daughter's just sleeping all the time. I mean, we were all sleeping. We were all fatigued. We had nothing to do. Like, so it's not just you specifically that your family or your daughter's falling apart. That was everybody, Kyle. That was everybody, including Michael Myers. And she just kept going on and just crying and sobbing all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God, get a grip. Like, we get it. And then we see Portia with the Peter Griffin nails, and just click-clacking them like that. So, you know, she's finding ways to entertain herself. I mean, if Kyle really wanted to do something, she probably would have, you know, found a game or something. I mean, money's no object to y'all. So I'm pretty sure you could have found certain resources to do fun things outside, go for a hike, go up in the mountains, go camping or something, you know, rent out a boat or something. So I'm pretty sure, Kyle, you could have done something with Portia outside of school, but, you know, I get it. I just feel like she was just being way too hard on herself. Like, it's okay. We all probably were. And then we're over at Sutton's house, and Lisa, again, she's just making her way through the whole town. And she comes over, and they sit down, and they meet Porter, which is Sutton's daughter. And I just feel so bad for that daughter. I mean, I can only imagine if Sutton acts this way on the show and she's a grown-ass woman, I can only imagine the bullshit that she's feeding her daughter. She's probably like, Okay, Porter, so today we're gonna learn how to cry on cue. You're gonna have to do it in under 2 seconds, okay? And we're also gonna teach you how to call the police. Yes, it only takes 2 steps, but it's gonna be very easy. Sutton tells us that she's very strict, and this is what killed me, that she's very strict with her clothing. Okay, Sutton, you need to be a little bit more stricter with your own outfits before you want to be strict on somebody else's, because some of your outfits, or 99% of your outfits, are just, ooh. And all three of them are sitting outside, and Porter tells Lisa, like, yeah, I'm part of this sorority called Kappa Kappa Karen. And then Lisa, she low-key threw shade in the confessional, and I wonder if Sutton caught that, and if she's gonna say anything about that at the reunion, because she's like, oh, well, I was in the sorority before it was the nerd sorority, because Porter was saying that they're all geniuses. And Lisa's like, yeah, when I was in it, it was the cool sorority. I'm like, ooh, Sutton is not gonna like that. And I kind of would be here for it, for Sutton versus Lisa. Now, that would be an interesting match, because Sutton's already a hot mess and Lisa is also a hot mess. And they both could probably match their energy, so that would be interesting to see them go at it. And Lisa's like, oh, I think that you and Amelia should have a play date because she's 19 and you're 18. And I'm like, no, Lisa, I see what you're doing. You're trying to pimp her out into Scott Disick as well. And if I was Sutton, just like Sutton said in her confessional, yeah, I don't think that play date is happening. So Sutton, kudos to you, because that's creepy. I mean, you know that your daughter is dating this 38-year-old man, and then you want another girl to come and befriend her, so she could probably do the same thing. So Sutton's eyes are probably like... Sutton asked about Erika if there's any new update. Maybe Sutton is going to be the only one, surprisingly, that doesn't buy Erika's bullshit, and that's probably why they get into it later on. I don't know, I'm just very eager to know what happens between them, that Erika just goes off and says, oh, wet. And then we finally get to Act 3 of this entire play, and we get a sit down between Erika and Kyle, and Erika becomes a mess as well. I mean, the tears, the mascara, everything. I mean, sis, I'm pretty sure you know how to do makeup. I'm pretty sure you know waterproof mascara or whatever they call it. And I know you probably planned this whole entire scene out like, okay, so I'm gonna bring my mascara that if I cry, it's gonna run down my face for dramatic effect. Cause I need the audience to believe my bullshit. And she just goes on and starts crying like, yeah, Kyle, it's crazy. He wants me to pay for his lawyer fees, and I don't get it. It's literally all me now, and it's painful, Kyle. And she continues to force these tears out and lower her head and everything. I mean, it was a whole theatric performance. Oh, Kyle, it's just, when I used to go in for a hug, he wouldn't hug me back. When I wanted to play with his wee-wee, he wouldn't do it. And I wanted so many things, but I was left in my room, lonely on cold nights, and he wouldn't touch me. And I would have to touch myself, and I couldn't bear it. I just couldn't stand it, no. Kyle, it's too much. I can't believe this man he wants me to go down with him, and it's not happening, Kyle. It's really not. The whole scene was given very much low budget cinema movie, straight to rental type of thing, because I don't know what this was. I'm like, Erika, please get it together. And Kyle's like, oh, I wish I can hug you, but I can't do anything. I'm like, you know what? Just let her cry it all out. And Erika is just like, I don't know. I mean, are y'all buying this? I mean, I don't think, I'm not. I don't think, even if it was on 50% off, if it was buy one, get one, I wouldn't buy it at all. I'm just not buying her thing. And she kept crying until they yelled, cut, and then that was it. That was the episode. And then on top of that, next week, she brings up the whole cheating rumors. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, she is really, really she's going for all the awards. I mean, they should have gave her an Emmy. They should have gave this season an Emmy for her performances, because, whoo, Erika, she's just really digging in deep. And next week, I can only imagine how her voice is going to be and how her face. Yeah, I didn't know that he was cheating on me. But that was the episode, y'all. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about this whole episode? Are y'all buying what Erika is dishing out there? I mean, do y'all feel sorry for her? Do y'all believe her story? Is she guilty? Is she not? I mean, whoo, Erika, you have... And I just feel like the more she talks, the more she's putting her foot in her mouth. And then As each episode continues to air each week, it's like we find out something more the next day or something the next day in the news and in the media that makes her whole story seem stupid and unbelievable. But that's that, y'all. Don't forget that I also have my review on the first episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac this season, of season 6, up on my channel as well. And don't forget to also like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your opinion on the show. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Bye, y'all. Mwah.